hard time about being human. I might get human for a minute. 2 years ago when I came here to MC, I was a mess. I arrived here with pretty much everything I owned in my car because I had gone through a heartbreaking divorce. My wife decided to end things just 2 months earlier. But I showed up. And somebody was here at the conference this year, and they came up to me and they said, "Wow, you're a different person." I said, "What do you mean?" I just said, "I was here 2 years ago, and I don't get me wrong, but you just seemed like a very sad clown." That was a good description. For 2 reasons. One, I was sad, and 2, I was putting on a performance. And as I was going around the country being nomadic, because I decided I was done with Texas, I went on this journey to figure out who Chad is when he's not performing. Who am I when I'm not living the stories everybody else told me I'm supposed to live? A lot of the speakers this week, as we talked about becoming unleashed, we talked about the fact that we need to be who we really are. But what I found is that a lot of people, especially in my age group, that 40 to 60 midlife, we start to realize we can't be who we truly are because we don't know who that is anymore. I know I didn't. I'd spent my whole life living a recipe that was handed to me. When I did get to Ecuador, and I'll tell you how in a second, I met a guy named Ivan. He's a sushi chef. He's been a sushi chef for 14 years. He's never left Ecuador. And he makes incredible sushi, but he's had to learn how to do it with ingredients he can get in Ecuador because he can't get everything that Japanese sushi chefs would use. And I went to the restaurant and I said, "Do you get to make all kinds of sushi?" And he said, "No, Chad, I only get to make what's on the menu. I only get to make what's on the recipe that's handed to me." And I said, "Well, can you do me a favor? Can you just surprise me and make whatever you want?" And now I go every week on Tuesday and I just say, "Hey, Yvonne, Chad's here." And he gets to make whatever he wants because he gets to start living a recipe that's the one he wants, not the one that was handed to him. And that's what I went on a journey to figure out. What story isn't mine? And I started sharing this story very vulnerably online, and people started reaching out to me. "Hey, Chad, thanks for helping me not feel alone. Do you have time to talk?" And I realized that there was a need. So I started studying and learning, getting certifications, because I thought, well, if I'm going to talk to these people, the last thing I want to do is screw up their lives. So I got trained on how to start helping people. I started developing my own ways within story catching, helping people take back the pen of who they really are as the author of their story and no longer a performer on stage. And a friend asked me, he said, "Hey, Chad, do you want to come to Ecuador and teach what you're doing?" And I said, "Heck yeah, let's go." I've never left the United States my entire life. I was 50 years old, wasn't living anywhere. I got my passport, he bought my plane ticket. I had a layover in Colombia, and I had just watched Narcos on Netflix. And I messaged Mike, and I'm like, "I don't think I'm supposed to be in Colombia." And he said, "Chad, relax, it's going to be fine." And then I'm switching to this airline. I've never heard of this airline. What happens to my luggage? How do I go through? I knew nothing. I didn't know Spanish. I got to Ecuador in July of 2024, 2 years next month. We spent about a week in the capital of Quito, and then we drove 3 hours through the Andes Mountains, passing about 6 different volcanoes that are respected and revered by the people there in the country. We saw these beautiful waterfalls, and then I got to meet these incredible people in this little town. We were there for about 2.5 days. We had lunch. We loaded up the van to go 3 hours back to Quito to the airport, and on my 10th day of international travel, not speaking Spanish, not knowing anybody, but realizing it was time for me to take back control of my own story and become who I was before I let everybody else edit who I was supposed to be. I took my suitcase off the van and told them, "Just leave me here." And that's how I ended up in Ecuador. So hopefully that answers your questions. It's been 2 years now. My Spanish is a little better. But now what I do is I work with other people who are trying to take back the pen as the author of their own life. People who woke up and realized, I don't know who I am. Maybe I just went through a divorce. Maybe I'm an empty nester and all I knew was how to be a parent. Maybe there was a big career change, whatever it might have been. And I work with those people now who are on the same journey I was. And then I bring them to Ecuador to experience the same magic that I get to now experience every day. So thank you for giving me a moment to just share what that journey was. If anybody in here is going through something similar, reach out to me, and I will spend time with you. I'm not trying to sell or pitch you anything. I know what it feels like to be alone in that journey. So if I can be there for you, just reach out. All right? Okay. All right, so thank you guys for being part of Social Media Week Lima 26. You're now all unleashed. We want to turn it over, though, to our wonderful founder, Jessika. But before I bring her up, let's give it one more time for our sponsors. The Meeting Place, Bigby Coffee, Westgate, UNOH, High Level, Beyond Laser Creations, Perry Protech, Lucky Limo, Shirley's Popcorn, Celebrations, The Social House, The View at Colonial, and how about that Now Marketing Group?
How about that,
All
MC? All right. Thank you so much, Chad, and thank you for sharing your story with us. What a great MC. He adds the creativity and steps it up year after year. When he sends me a list of items to buy, by the way, for props, I'm cracking up. He's like, most of the stuff you can find around your house, and also I need a plunger, and I was like, I think I'll buy a new one. Ew. Yeah. But super creative, super fun. True story, by the way. But thank all of you for being unleashed here this year. I love this event. It is a labor of love, but it's so worth it just to bring everybody together. You can feel the energy in this room, and I've heard it time and time again by multiple people. This event is just different, right? Yes, you get a lot of good information, but there's a lot of good people with a lot of good energy and that really, truly do want to see each and every one of you succeed. We mean it. We love it. We want to see all of your smiling faces again here next year. So we do have those tickets on sale for Synergy next year for $75. But more importantly, stay connected and don't just wait till next year to connect with everybody that you met here. Stay connected. We have the Facebook group. We have the social pages. You see all of the names of the speakers in this booklet here that you can take back with you. I'm sure all of them are willing to support and show up and help you and your business, or just stay connected in general. So definitely do that. We will be taking all the videos that we've recorded from the speakers here, and when we get those published, we'll be publishing them on YouTube and then sending you all a link. But we just so appreciate every one of you showing up and sharing your energy and your time with us here over the past few days. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and summer, and I hope to see you back here next year. Thank you, guys.